How does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? Throughout our short film opener, a variety of conventions were used in order to convey our genre, which is a mix between a mystery and a thriller. For example, we use a technical code of an over-the-shoulder shot, one when Jack is picking up his baseball, and another when the detective is typing on his keyboard. And this gave the effect that it's unknown what could be lurking behind you, literally in Jack's case, or that what could be coming for you in the future, as in the detective's case, when the detective is handed the missing persons file and then told later that there was an eyewitness. Additionally, the missing persons poster obviously signifies that somebody's missing, but it's incredibly important to the story because without it, there'd be no story. The missing persons poster sets all the events in motion and symbolizes the importance of finding Jack, as well as finding others, and preventing this from happening to others. The film opener demonstrates the contrast between two very different social groups, children and adults, and the dialogue was taken into heavy consideration when creating the script, even though there wasn't much dialogue in the opener. For instance, the kids in the film spoke and interacted with each other. They were playful, they were calm when the ball got lost, and they were understanding when the ball got lost. However, the adults spoke and interacted somewhat coldly towards one another, and they were more focused on finding these people, especially Jack, since he was the third case in the month that went missing, as they should be. And it was somewhat difficult to write the dialogue for the adults just because my partner and I are teenagers, and we could relate more to the children's dialogue than the adults' dialogue. So what my partner and I had to do is we would listen to the adults around us to get a gist for what they sounded like when they spoke and what they said and how they interacted with each other. But the children were fairly easy since we've already experienced our childhood and we know we're around kids and we know how they interact with one another. So that was easy for us to incorporate into our short film, whereas the adults, we had to take more consideration into that. How does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text? Our final product would be geared more towards older teenagers and adults because of the subject matter. I mean, although the story revolves around a child and others who get kidnapped, the content could be too heavy for younger children and teenagers, and it's because of the severity of the topic, and it could be too much for this age group to handle. Adults and older teenagers could find the topic more relatable, and even though kidnapping is a major part of the storyline, this will bring in themes of family and protecting your family and what you would do to protect those who you love. And this could be more relatable to those who have children like the adults or who have experienced strong bonds and friendships that will last like older teenagers. Our film opener will be released as a limited theatrical release, and that means that it will only be released in a few theaters throughout the United States. And this would save us money from having to distribute to major film companies who would want to release this film on a regular theatrical release day. In addition to this, the film could generate positive word of mouth through its limited theatrical release, and promotion would begin from there through word of mouth. Following this would be movie posters, movie trailers, increase in ticket sales, cast interviews, and then a possible shift to larger theaters due to its increasing popularity and exposure. And this would bring in more money as it increases in popularity. And the target demographic would be older teenagers and adults, and this is also who the film would be marketed mostly to. How did your production skills develop throughout this project? Before taking this class, I was unaware of all the magic that took place to create my favorite films. While I understood that it takes time and dedication and hard work to make a great film, I never realized how incredible the whole process actually is until I was given the opportunity to make my own film opener and take part in the process. Throughout the various projects done in class to prepare for the creation of our film opener, I was able to learn more and more as we continued throughout the course, and I'm glad that I was able to showcase my improvement throughout the course as a filmmaker and at times critic. And I especially believe that I improved my editing skills, which I'm really proud of, as before I would have issues with things like continuity and the verisimilitude with pretty much anything I filmed and edited. However, in this film opener, I was able to accurately split clips and combine clips to make a cohesive piece that made sense. And I paid close attention to continuity and edited out parts of scenes that made no sense at all to the script and storyboards, or were out of order, or had things that were misplaced in different scenes that shouldn't have been in a scene but was, or was taken out of a scene and put back into a different scene, just things like that. And I was able to take my editing skills a bit further by adding in music to our scenes and also adding non-diegetic sound to the clips, especially when the boys were playing with the baseball, focusing on their game. It seemed a bit awkward that there was no sound there, so what I did was I added forest sounds and birds chirping to give the environment some more atmosphere, and also to highlight the fact that they were really alone out there. And I added music to heighten the climax of scenes. So for instance, when Jack does get kidnapped, the music will spike up and then die down and be completely eliminated from the next scene. Or when the Detective Jones comes into the doorframe and says that they have an eyewitness, I added music to that part and then continued it throughout to our title screen. How did you integrate technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project? The integration of technologies greatly assisted us in the creation of our film opener, and without technology, we would not have a film opener to present. First, without the use of our cell phones, nothing could have been filmed, since my partner and I both filmed using Apple devices. And the cell phone cameras were simple to work with and had nice camera quality, which made it easier for first-time filmmakers like us to actually film. And the editing software I used to edit all the clips together was iMovie, which came on my MacBook Air, and this enabled me to seamlessly edit clips together, cut footage, and create credits for our opener, in addition to adding music and sound effects. And I was able to purchase music and sound effects directly from iTunes that was already installed on my computer and imported into iMovie. And I could also airdrop clips from my phone to my Mac to drop into iMovie. And my friend could send me clips from their phone, and I could drop those into iMovie as well, using AirDrop. Being able to edit our script online and scan our storyboards using our phones greatly assisted us as well. And the internet assisted us greatly, as it allowed us to look up any shots and angles we were unsure if we should use, or unsure if they would look right. Like, we thought they would look some way in our heads, but maybe they would look different on film. And it allowed us to research how to format a script whenever we got stuck. For instance, when to capitalize characters' names. And I was able to watch film openers such as Back to the Future online to get an idea as to how credits should roll over an opening scene. And also gave me an idea of which fonts I should consider using. And this greatly contributed to the font chosen for the credits that roll throughout the opener.